Also here, that's all set for the toss. Mr. Belkey will also be here with your man in committee from the Sumper City. All set for the toss. Yes, Mr. Narayan. Rovers to spin the coin and Bashers to call. Heads is the call and heads is the result. What do you do, sir? Bashers have won, decided to bat first. What's the reason, sir?
Actually, I won all the 4 matches previously batting first. So I hope this semi-final also will be batting first.
You won the toss all the time?
10 matches will be there.
Okay, what's the target you have in mind?
I'm not planning it.
When are you going to plan it?
After the innings.
Oh, so the captain of the opposite team will not know. Yes, sir. What's your plan?
We also wanted to bat first because first batting is better in all the other teams.
What do you think is their major force in batting?
Actually in their team. So we try to stop him.
What are the plans to cut him off?
It's not really.
Want to reveal it? Okay. All the best to both the captains. They clash in the second semi-final of the MMA Premier League Cricket Tournament 2026. You on the right to challenge Vipers in the final. Thank you very much.
1 second, please. Looks like you don't have a player at it. The spearhead of the team, Pavani, is not at it. How can you do that? The sole force with the women department and you left her out. How can you do that, Captain?
Fokus ini agak. Fokus kalau benar sudah. Selama ini dia kalau benar.
The start of the second semi-final. Bachelors versus Rovers. Lakshmi on strike. First delivery from Brownie. Fast and straight. No answer. Her baseball stance. Let's see what she's able to do with that. Swept it up and easily taken. No shame for the men there taking catches of women. No, don't do that. Allow them that single. Come on, guys. But this time she's much smarter here. Yashasvi strikes it on the ground. But again, the men being men, they're making it out. Pavani does not give any runs thus far. Whole 3 deliveries without the run. Of course, every single time a woman gets out, she has to get off strike. That's the reason you see them moving across. It's given a wide. No extras also for the women. The benefit of doubt. The whole pitch belongs to them. So you can go anywhere you want. That's down the leg side. Single, and she almost falls off there. One run, the first run's on the board. Bob Ashes. Swing and a miss, given wide by the umpire. She needs to bowl that again. You rarely see her bowling wides. She went to the offside to strike it on the leg side to give away a run out. Good try by Yashasvi. I just heard someone saying, please get them all out. I don't know how you get them out in 2 overs. A swing. Well tried. And sometimes I feel like Yashasvi will fall one day or the other. The way she's running to the striker's end. Swing and a miss. That's change of strikes because the over is done. We've got 2 runs on the board. 1.1 gone. Pavani to continue. Again, swing and a miss. Doing it very well is Pavani. The only woman for Rovers. And she's able. A good shot. Chance of run out. Oh, 1 run before Rapa. Yakappa in there. Why this Kolaveri? Just 1 run, guys. Come on. We can't be such shameless people. Kya kar rahe ho? Swept away for a single. The women are doing it themselves. I am not going to war upon them. First swing and a miss.
Well, I get to see one offside shot from both of these. All they're doing is going to the offside and hitting it up in the air. Chance of a run out. One final gentleman I could find in the field. After 12, one man finally does the job. And with that, we've completed 2. Who can take the bowling apart on their day. Any bowling attack seems to be ridiculed with their power hitting prowess. And that's how good these two folks are being. They're a very batting heavy unit. But they do have good bowlers as well. Don't count them out like I mentioned. They made their way through very easily. Especially from the other hand, Rovers had a very close call the previous match. It was more or less a virtual quarter-final for them. The virtual quarter-final was between Crushers and Rovers. Rovers had to restrict Crushers for less than 100 runs, while they put on a total of 116. They were restricting them down to about 100 runs. Anything less than 100, they would have sailed through, and that was the situation. And in the end, the Rovers made it through by crushing the Crushers in a virtual quarter-final encounter the previous match. Similar to what India would be facing today. India versus West Indies, the virtual quarter-final encounter in the World Cup. This is no less than a World Cup for NNE Premier League 2026. They call it out as a Premier League. But let me tell you, not short of a World Cup for these players representing their teams within NNE. Everyone yearning to get their hands on that big trophy, big beautiful trophy assembled on my right. All coveted. First delivery, and it is revolutionary. There we go. All the cheers coming into the effect. Blasters with Krishna on strike and Rahul with the ball. These two can blast it every single part of the ground. We've seen that in the past, especially Krishna. He took his time in the previous game, dug deep and then showed his prowess. He has all range of shots. Don't count them out if he plays a second fiddle in the first few overs. To the 15-over affair, with just 2 overs down, and he can take his own sweet time to get the groove. But once he does, he's unstoppable. Down the leg side it goes. It's another extra 2 and 2, one towards the offside, the second down the leg side. Well bowled. Really good bowling. These two had a great contest the last time they faced each other. Bashers were on top of Rovers, but this is a different encounter. That's gentlemen, that's for a leg, and that's the first wicket being celebrated with a huge sprint. That's the first lot drawn, and a big fish in the net. Krishna perishing. with a stroke towards the leg side and not troubling the scorers too much. He's gone for duck without troubling the scorers at all as Krishna. And in comes Vinod Kashyap, the danger man, still at the non-strikers. The second highest run getter of the tournament. The captain, the force behind Bachelors. Rahul, the spearhead for Rovers, does the job that he's been anointed for. You're being told that only 2 wickets, you can see 3, sir. That's a really good delivery. Very, very good delivery for a batsman who's just facing his first one. Fast and full, of course. The power play overs in effect. 3 power play overs. Number 3, 4 and 5. The field and action should be coming after that. But this is a brilliant start on the men's for Rovers. Again, wild ball, good line and length. Well, first time around, we've seen a misfield. And it comes from the woman who is taking the torch for Rovers ever since they started playing cricket in this field. The only one. Oh, that was so close, mighty close to the wicket. Well, he's surviving that single delivery of the last delivery of that over, is it? Yes, it is. After completion of 3, 7 for 1. It's just a 3-run over, brilliant over from Rahul. And in comes to join in to bowl the second power play over for the men is Pratik. On strike, well, we know he missed by a whistle the previous delivery. He was crashing on to stumps otherwise. And good feeling from Pavni almost. He just misses out. That's not the Pavni we've seen all throughout the tournament. DJ, over to you. And stuck away towards point for a single. Getting off strike, very, very crucial encounter. It's a do-or-die encounter for them. The semi-final, the second semi-final in NME Premier League 2026, being brought to you live on YouTube. All you need to do is log on to Y Sports channel on YouTube. Full toss. Driven away towards covers. Very unlikely of Medwin. He does not usually take his time, but he wants to bide his time here because this is a very important counter and he would like to play through to the end. Let's see the right body, rightly so, another extra. The 13th man on the boundary line is just acting like the whole stadium himself. Is high for the batsman to get to. Even if he puts up a ladder and tries to go for it, he couldn't still fetch it. It is
Short one again, missed away. Well, Vinod curbing his urges to go big on that. He knows that he couldn't have struck that as well as he would have liked. Could have ended up as a catch, so went for a dab instead. Slower one, that's a good shot. Flicked away towards midway, coming back for a second. Yuva was up for it, a brilliant throw from the deep. That's good fielding from the deep. There was always a chance of a second there. However, good fielding ensures it's only a single at the end of that. Yuvan back on strike. Shot one and bludgeoned away for 4 runs. Smacked it so well as Yuvan. Like we said, he's warming up. This man can hit some big sixes, and he's known to do that time and again. May not be early in the innings, but he does take his time. But one set, all these batsmen have shown the ability to strike it big. Another one down the leg side, given a wide. He was just hoping that the umpire will not call it a wide, Srinivas. That was the look of despair. Again, it's given a wide. He's erring in line, not looking great. Well, 10 runs. He's given away thus far. That's down the ground. He was trying to smack that pretty hard. Loses his shape. Good throw from the deep. They have been so good at it, these two batsmen. Very, very quick between the wickets. They're grabbing every single opportunity to get off strike. Then trying to keep it moving, the scoreboard, of course. Fuller one, much better delivery. That's a slower one on a leggy. Almost from Srinivas. Trying to bowl a leg cutter. Does that well and gets off strike as Vinod is playing a very patient game. Vinod's trying to settle in a bit, not to throw his wicket away. Oh, that's taken the under edge for a single. Good running again. That's sloppy from the bowler. He should have been behind the wicket by then. He had all the time in the world to get back to the wicket, but only ensures it's 2 runs. That is exceptional running between the wickets. After the end of 8, 76 for 2. Over to you, DJ. Down the ground, driven away. Well bowled. Good bowling from Karthik. He's keeping it very tight, straight to the stumps or the 3rd or the 4th stump channel. And he's keeping it full as well. He's got the protection, of course. Well, that's guided away very well, but not much power behind it. It's just 2 runs. And it's given a no ball by the umpire. That is an extra. That is a free hit. Looks like the 13th man is really upset with the umpire. Looks like he hasn't met him before the match with some cash. That's why this is happening. It's a free hit. I request the 13th man to be the 13th man, not to be involved, please, for some time. Not even in the 12, sir, please. It's a free hit. Free hit to Vinod. The right man to be on strike, but a good ball from Karthik ensures it's only a single. Very well watched by Karthik, in fact. He did notice that the batsman was shimmying down the ground for a big one. And he bowls it shorter. Again an under edge. Another run. Not a great way to give those runs away. The same people involved, but it's just the swap of roles. It was Srinivas the last time around with Karthik throwing it back. At this time they changed the roles. It looks like Yuvan is finding it difficult because he's got a few under edges. He's anticipating a little more higher bounce. However, the ball is skidding away. Not really bouncing. That's where he's got those under edges. That's a much better shot. Of course, the lower full toss. Not enough to be struck away for 6. But guides that for a single. Quiet overs. Very quiet overs these for Rovers. And that's what they would be hoping for. A few more. Should be coming back for 2, are they? Goes for 4 runs right in the middle of those 2 fielders. Bisected them to perfection. That shouldn't have gone to the fence in the first place. Over to the DJ. The drink's gone. 89 for 2. Down the leg side, given a wide. The bowler not happy about it, but he has to stick with that. It is down the leg side, says the umpire. It's 2 and 2. 2 wides for Srinivas. 1 down the leg side. Overcompensates for line the second time around and boats it towards the offside. Well, he has been erratic, of course. but has to do a better job for the team. Oh, that's lucky. Lucky, very, very lucky for the bowler. It was down the leg side, a lower full toss. He was swinging it away, Yuvan. He brought all his expertise to that shot, but missed away. That's well bowled. 13th man checking for an LBW. In fact, it was bat before the wicket for the batsman. Up in the air, that's a good shot, but should be taken. And he slips. He falters while taking the catch. And it goes for 4 runs. Flying. Looks like the 13th man operating the bails from the sidelines. Oh, that's a good shot. Was down the leg side. He had to flick it away. He does. Not enough elevation or even connection on that. We know just 3 short of 50. That's a swing and a miss. Last ball of the over. He's given away 22 runs off his 2.5 bowled as far as Srinivas. Going at about 7 runs. Shot one. Good shot that to get it over the boundary. 1 bounce to the fence and it is 4 runs for Yuvan. After the end of the over, 10 gone. 101 for 200 up for Bashers. 101 for just 2 wickets. After the end of 10th over. 5 more to go. Vinod, 1 hit away from his half century. He's done the bulk of the scoring for the team and he's taken the onus on himself. Rahul coming back for another over. Very, very expensive for the first 2 overs that he's bowled. 25 is given away. And then it's time for him to bowl a much better spell. Shot one should be caught. And is caught. Well, that's the 3rd catch for Amir. Like I said, very rich man at heart. Gave away 1 run and took 3 catches. This was down his throat, literally down his throat. For a second, I thought it was going to hit his throat. But he's taken a good catch. And the 13th man flying in like a flying saucer into the pitch and invading it unnecessarily. But nevertheless, that is another wicket. Get back in the hut. The man who was close to his 50 has been sent back to the hut. That's a good shot. But found the fielder only to go through his arms. And it goes for 4 runs. Lucky enough. Yuvan riding his luck. Not happy about it. Doing potty squatties for nothing. Oh, down the ground. That's a good. Should be taken. And this time he scored it. That is redemption. Again, he's got 2 in 2. Is Rahul. 2 big wickets. Prashant takes the calm-headed catch. And that's another wicket. Over to you, DJ. It's tucked away, late cut. And it goes through the legs. Nutmegs herself is Pavani. Goes through the legs for 4 runs. Is it? To be called by the umpires. I think it will be reviewed. Let's have a quick check, please. After that, it is 110 for 4. With that 4 being declared, 110 for 4 out of the completion of 11. Karthik, the captain, picks up the ball again to bowl to Sivakumar. Shot one and down the leg side. It's given a wide, of course. Well, he was loaded up, locked and loaded was Sivakumar to send it out to the boundary. Full toss. And are they coming back for 2? There was a call for 2 immediately after striking that. But good fielding. Good fielding from Pratik. Good return from the deep, of course. Sachin on strike. That's good batting. That's good batting. When you know that your partner is already settled and trying to strike it big, the best thing is to settle in. While you settle in, allow the other batsman to go big. Well, this is a very, very new territory for bashers. They have not been exposed to such depth in batting thus far. It's predominantly being the top four. Well, that's a big hit attempted from Shivakumar, missed away. Typically, the top four, top five do the job for them more or less. It's only in the very fag end of the overs that these batsmen come in, but this is a really new territory for them. They've not been exposed so quickly. But Rovers have done that job in the second semi-final. NNE Premier League 2026 brings you the second semi-final between Rovers and Bashers. It is being broadcasted live on YouTube. Oh, that's a big heave attempted by Sachin and misses away. It was only for a single. It's being broadcasted live on YouTube. All you need to do is log on to Y Sports channel and you should be able to catch this action live on YouTube. Shot one, almost. The vision was right. Oh, that's excellent piece of fielding from Amir. Good return, very good return from the deep. After the end of 12, 1-1-6 for 4. Just 6 runs over. 12 down, 1-1-6 for 4. Scoring at almost about 10 runs per over is Bashers. And the 13th man is still looking for some more runs from the Rovers department. They're already scoring at 10, almost. And to stop them from going higher, it will be Pratik with the ball. And he's to bowl to Shivakumar. Coming over the wicket. Very well bowled. That is a beautiful start. 2 overs, he's conceded 26. And has also picked up a wicket, but those 26 has to be contained. The next over, if he stops them from getting another 10, would be a brilliant over. Missed away. Shiva misses away. One big full toss. The bat and the ball was about a mile away, and the 13th man appealing for a catch. Great energy. Well, that's well bowled. He's doing it really well. In fact, Pratik should be bowling those last few overs. Chance of a run out. He wasn't even looking at his partner was Sachin. He just went for those double without stopping there. Ran like a juggernaut, but had to put on his quick brakes like an engine and circle back. That was well bowled, but over the line, says the umpire. The captain not happy about that call, but he has to live with it. Well, if there was any fee for dissent outside the line, the 13th man would get minus 100% hike. Oh, that's a good shot. Well, if there was any match fee that had to be paid, he would have been paying one full match fee for his just dissent coming outside the ring for the umpires. I'm sure I should have a conversation with the match referee after this. Swing and a miss. Beautiful slower delivery. Not being able to do much here. Shivakumar with those slower deliveries. Looks like he's struggling a bit in the middle with that change in pace. And Pratik utilizing that to full effect. The winner of this team will meet Vipers in the final. That's what they're contesting for, and hits like this will get them closer and closer. The only mistake that Pratik did was bowl a shorter one, and he's been dished away. Over to the DJ. the wicket. The captain doing it in style. That's a good shot towards cover point. And good fielding. Very good fielding in the deep. Equally good running by the batsman as well. Good all-round cricket. Last over of the semi-final of the first innings. Rather, one more over left from us after this. Apologies on that. It's down the ground. Coming back for a second Ade. Sivakumar sprinting across like a hare. And even with that, they don't get a wicket. Good throw from the deep, of course. But they still run very, very well. Very good running between the wickets. Manas. That's driven away again. That should only be one. Rahul from the deep cuts it off. Well, a decent last over. 5 runs. The decent last over from Karthik. Up in the air, should be caught. And it goes over the fielder's head. And not great collection. That should have been a run out of the striker's end. Srinivasan doesn't collect it. Srinivas missing out on opportunity, get a wicket. But brilliant running between the wickets between these two folks. No wonder he's tired there. Siva, he scored 13 himself, but he's ran more than that for the teammates. That's all-round brilliant work. That's down the ground. No big hits. No big hits at all in this over. Ends the 14th over and he's just given away 8 runs and picked up a wicket as the captain. An excellent end to his spell. And after the end of 14 overs, 133 for 5. 133 for 5 after the end of 14 and over to the DJ. First innings, down the ground it goes for a single. No rush for a second there. Shiva was happy about getting that. Looks like he's exhausted. But on the other hand, Manas doing it well. Let's cut away. Straight to point. Chance of a run out. And not clean connection from the captain this time round. No, that's not working in their favor. Extra runs. Every single run counts. 135 for 5. That's another shot down the ground. No big hits. Bowling it well is Rahul. Chance of a second. Manas is sprinting his way across. And it's a review for a run out to be checked by the umpires. In the meantime, some supplements for the man in the field. 3 more deliveries to end the final over of the innings. There he was trying to go towards the fine leg. He's trying to play the ramp shot. Misses away. 2 more deliveries to go. 137 on the cards. How will they finish? Oh, that's a big hit. Attempted. Only gets a single, coming back for second. Good return. And that's a wicket. Manas walking back. Well, that was unnecessary. The second, of course, the man in the deep with a good arm. Down the legs. It's up in the air, spinning viciously and taken by the captain. With the end of 15 overs, 143 is the target set. 143 after the end of 15 overs. The target set is 144 by Bashers, and that needs to be chased down in 15 overs by Rovers to get across the finish line and get a place in the final. Until we get to the chase, a short break and to be taken over by the DJ. We've got the 13th man, 14th man, all the 11 players, including in the middle, may not make an impact as an impact player, but this man can do it. The 13th man for Rovers. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Well, all your emotions were flying high outside the ring. And I can see that you've got a great deal of dance moves as well. And I've learned a few, thanks for that. But before we get into the conversation, a quick check. Where do you get this energy from?
Oh, really, I don't know, to be honest.
You don't know where it comes?
To be honest, I really don't know where I get energy from, but I don't know. I get it.
Well, your body language speaks something else, but while you speak, we can't hear you, sir. I don't know why, but in the same time, your energy with the body has been excellent. And where do you get this dance moves from?
Dance moves I actually learned from Bharatanatyam Kala Aranga. It's a famous dance school in Tamil Nadu. And the teachers, they want me especially to train a lot. So I got teachers from several parts of our country. And each and every, the teachers from every state, they have taught me different moves, starting from Kashmiri to Kanyakumari.
And I hope I hope the teachers are still teaching.
No, they got a retirement after they understand that I am overtaking them. They finally retired from teaching.
No wonder. I can see the dance moves that you get are a mix of everything, right? So they might have taught you Bharatanatyam, but you got some other fusion into it. So of course they left their job. But that aside, I also wanted to see how do you kind of end up cheering people here. I know that every single time that you speak to an umpire, you say you're not giving it wide. I know that you've not given cash, but still it's okay. You've done your best in terms of influencing them. But why that grudge?
No, I didn't try to do anything towards umpire. I was trying to make them to be honest in giving any decisions. So I am trying to keep their integrity high.
The only thing that was missing was the honesty. But nevertheless, first delivery, it's a dot ball. With that being said, I also have another question. With all of this being said, I know that you've given a great deal of energy inside as well. But, when you shout, mujhe maro, right? That reminds me, what was that the inspiration?
I didn't hear that it's from Pakistani. But I was trying to get the bowlers focused towards the offside.
You were trying to get the bowlers focused towards the offside. You were outside the boundary ring, I thought.
Yeah. I don't want to disturb the people who are playing inside the circle. So I pushed myself far from the boundary and trying to get the focus towards the right line and length.
Okay, I get that. I think you've done a great job in the middle. Let's see what your batting unit does. What do you think? They'll chase it down?
Very simple target. It's not tough to us.
We'll meet you after the game. Thank you so much. In the meantime, we've begun the second innings of the second semi-final between Bashers and Rovers. Rovers are chasing a huge target of 144 in 15 overs, and they've begun well. El Pavani, the lone warrior for Rovers with the bat and the ball from the women department, the women force. Down the leg side, that goes for the wide, so no runs, of course. 5 deliveries gone. Lakshmi's done it well. Just given away 2 runs. Down the ground, should be a single. She runs quickly and gets off strike. That's great. Unfortunately, she has to come back on strike of the first over. And with that, we've got change in the bowling unit. Lakshmi walking back. And in comes Yashasvi. Total target 144, almost about 10 runs per over. Not an easy task, especially in a semi-final do-or-die encounter. The start should be much better. Oh, that's a big heave attempted, and she does connect well. That's straight to the man at mid-on. There was a lot of power behind it, and she played it well. The only unfortunate thing for Bhavani is that every time she runs to the strikers or non-strikers end. She has to walk back to the strikers. That's 2 runs effectively. Unfortunately for her, she's doing double the amount of work. Full toss and missed away. She's celebrating that dot ball like a wicket. Yashasvi. 2 deliveries gone. 4 runs on the board. Oh, that started off on the 10th floor, ended up on the 2nd floor while batting. Chance of a run, 2nd run. Midun, you've scored so many runs. Can you not donate 1 run to her? She's just running 2, my mate. You could honestly give her 1 run. She was sweeping it off the floor. Nevertheless, only dust came up. She's still trying her best here. Pavni, on the other hand, Yashasvi bowling well. Again, this goes to the top floor. While coming down to the ground floor, she picks up a single. The only common thing I've seen while the women bowl is that the ball doesn't come flat at all. It either touches Burj Khalifa's height or Everest height and then comes down. Still okay. Oh, that's a good shot. And a directed, attempted, and almost a wicket. See, that's why it is always women helping women. I don't know why men get that run out. She's so easily donated 1. All you need to do is just learn from her, mates. Come on. So very, very important encounter, I understand. But somewhere we are called gentlemen for a reason. If you can't be gentle at all, there's no point calling you gentleman. After the end of 2 overs, 8 runs on the cards. That is 8 runs off the target. So it's 136 required. 136 required in the stipulated 13 overs left. And we've got the captain walking in along with Srinivas Rao. Another big hitter. Captain leading from the front, and that's what it's all about. With the bat, with the ball and everything. 12th man from Bashers, please. We've got 13th man also in Rovers. I don't know why 12th man in Bashers. Bashers, 12th man. 12th man, sir. David. Otherwise, names will get crooked. I don't want to call you the first man, second man, third man like the 13th man for Rovers. I want names. Kamal with the ball. Will Kamal bowl like Pushpa the fire or the flower like the name? We'll find out. The man on strike will be Srinivas. Kamal to come over the wicket. And he's to bowl to Srinivas. Srinivas can strike it big. He's done that in the previous matches. Has done a great deal for his team to get to this stage. They've got a very, very decent batting unit. Is Rovers. But on the other hand, Bashers have a good bowling lineup too. First ball. It's towards the offside line. As he declared it a good delivery. And he was expecting that to be called a wide, Srinivas. And he left it alone. Oh, that's a dead defense. A test match like defense from Srinivas. Well, he's playing a 15-over affair, so he knows that he can take it deep. Just like what Bashers did with Vinod. Started off a little slow, but then came in those big hits. This is exactly what they would be expecting Srinivas to do. Or will the captain do the job of being the aggressor? That's a beautiful shot down the ground. Nice flowing bat. Straight down the ground. That's the way you need to play. A fuller delivery up front. Ground flowing ever so gracefully. Although it only fetches a single. It's still a good shot to get off mark. That gives him a whole lot of confidence. And a good start from Kamal. That's well driven away. Takes the outside half of the bat. He's trying to open the face of the bat, but not good enough to get the middle. Should only be 1 run. And a very quiet over, of course. 4 deliveries gone. He's given away only 2 off a power play over with the men's in the middle. That's well driven too. He's timing it well. Looks like he's seeing the ball well. He's actually timing it very well, Srinivas. And that's what's required. Take your time in the middle, but once you get settled, you can take them to the cleaners. That's taken an outside edge and spun across. A good stop by the man at shot third man, but only a single at the end. That is a brilliant over coming to the end. It's 11 for no loss after the end of 3. Just a 3-run over from Kamal in a power play over. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing start. And in comes Vinod Kashyap. The star with the bat, with now ball in hand. What will he do? Will he continue his stupendous form from the bat to this? Or will he be treated differently by these 2 men in the middle? Of course, power play over in effect. The second power play over. They need to make use of this power play because that will set the tone for the next few overs to come through. Difficult for Rovers. Shot 1 to begin with. And just nudge that down for a single. Started off well as Vinod Kashyap. That's wide called by the umpire. Even before the umpire could judge it, the 13th man from Rovers had already declared as wide. We've got not just 2 umpires in the middle, but 3 umpires in the field. Full toss! And they start the treatment. The first 6 of the innings. And one of the many to come. That was a loosener, but still put away in style by the captain. That's a great beginning. Whilst 13th man was taking a break for some time, the DJ also has gone for a break. So please don't disturb him, sir. Oh, that was down the ground. Should only be a single, of course, but good cover by Kamal. Coming back for an extra? No. That misfield could have definitely cost them. Had they gone for that run, it could have been very, very close. Good call in the end by Srinivas. 3 deliveries gone, 9 runs. Well, that's down the ground. Another good shot. Should be stopped by the man in the deep. Sivakumar does well to stop that for 2 runs. Well, Vinod is just being greeted with really good shots. It's just a reciprocation of what he's done to Rovers. He's just getting the treatment that he dished out to them. The batsman wasn't ready. The bowler has to re-bowl that. Oh, madam, that's a good shot. But falls short of the fielder and turns away from him. It goes for 4 runs. Well, that was a decent shot, but not good enough, in fact. He was just trying to get that single away. Didn't get good connection on it. Just wanted to tuck it away towards the mid-wicket. Unfortunately for the fielder, fell short and moved away from him. Could have been much better effort. The bowler would not be happy about it, of course. Good ball that. And good field placement. He knows that his strength is to go down the ground. That's why he's bowling it fuller and on the 3rd stump line. After the end of the over, scorecard reads 27 for no loss. 117 required in 66. at about 10.6 per over. Well, that was a productive over for Rovers, of course. But Kamal coming back for a second over. Bowled an exceptional first over. Gave away only 3 runs. But with these two batsmen warmed up, I think this will produce more. But this is the last over of the power play. Will they utilize it? Or will they play on the merit against Kamal? Srinivas to answer that. First one faster. Fuller moving away. Ball moves away from the batsman, from the fielder. That's a swing and a miss. He's trying to play away from his body. It was Karthik. Doesn't get anything on it. The dot delivery at the end. Well bowled. That's up in the air. The leggy. The leg cutter up. And he's got it. That is a big, big wicket. The captain back in the heart. And now that is game on for Bashers. First wicket gone for them. Rovers have lost the captain. Mohan, the man at mid-wicket, takes the catch. That was good bowling from Kamal. He was bowling it faster and fuller, but the last 2 deliveries have been the away swingers. Of course, considering it's a tennis ball, it wouldn't be swinging too much, but it's more like a leg cutter that he was attempting, and he got it right the previous 2 instances. The ball prior to this was much more fuller, so he was trying to cut it. He got an outside edge. But this one was a tad shorter, and he wanted to go for a pull shot. Doesn't get good connection, miscues it, and that's the end of the captain. The captain walks back after a small stint in the middle. Now it's the onus on Srinivas. And joining him is Rashmi Ranjan. Rashmi Ranjan in the middle. Power-packed batting unit. This, like we mentioned, both the units. Let's not count them out. That's brilliant bowling though. Down the leg side it goes. After taking the leg. Takes the legs, so no runs of course. But beautiful fielding. He had to run a long way to get there. All this while he was running, he was never informed that it was off the legs. So he had to run and fetch that. Spend a lot of energy on it. Oh, that's a full toss. No ball, of course. Rashmi could have been kicking his guts out for missing out on that. That was the chance to free his arms and get settled. But nevertheless, he's got another opportunity. Free hit. Slower one. Very well bowled by Kamal. Good deception. In a power play over, he's made the batsman play along the ground and not given away anything for the batsman to get under. That's brilliant bowling by this man. It's tucked away for a single. No, they don't even go for a single. That's another great over from Kamal. Just a 2-run over. He's bowled 2 brilliant overs and given away only 5 runs. That's exceptional. After the end of 5, scorecard reads 29 for 1. (29 for 1) after the end of 5 at about almost 6 runs per over. It has been a great, great power play for Bashers. They've kept it watertight and they've reaped the benefits. No runs flowing off the bat as much as they would have liked. I would request the ones playing outside the boundary ring to keep their practice deliveries outside. ಓ ಪುಟ ಬೇಗ ಓಡಪ್ಪ ಹೊರಗೆ. ಯಾವ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಗೋ ಗೋ ಔಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. That's driven down the ground. Nicely driven, but only will get a single. Krishna starts off his spell with a single. Well, this is the trio that do a good job. Kamal, Krishna, as well as Vinod. They do a really good job with the ball for Bashers. And they have been the key men who've driven them to this stage all the way along. That was too wide, but doesn't take anything on the bat because he was going towards the offside. It's given a good ball by the umpire. It is a fair delivery at the end. .30 on the cards. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery again. Full, fast and straight. That's the mantra. That's been the mantra so far for all of these bowlers. And they've done away with all the unnecessary stuff. Trying to bowl fancy ones. Just sticking to the basics. Bowling it full. Subtle changes in pace. Has done the trick thus far. That's really good bowling because that's only basics. They're nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest. But the key there is consistency. They've bowled that lines consistently, which allows the bowlers to breathe. On the other hand, the batsmen have not been able to get big hits, which is the need of the hour. Oh, that was a wild swing. Had that connected, that could have gone a long way. Rashmi Ranjan trying to produce those big hits. Misses away after the end of 6. 32 for 1. Just a 3-run over again. This will not help them. At least 6 or 7 runs per over is a bare minimum. The better you rotate the strike, the better placed you are in terms of the required run rate. And that's the key. When you try to go too big and don't connect, you might end up losing a few deliveries, and then that can account for higher pressure. They've done a great job thus far, our Bashers. They're done with the bashing with the bat, and now they're doing it with the ball. That was stylishly put away towards square leg. Reminds me of how Yuvraj plays his flick out towards the leg side. Anything on the pads. Just a stylish flick towards the fine leg. That's what he does. Kamal back for his third over. That's down the ground. Should only be 2 runs with Shivakumar cutting it off. That should be easy too, in fact. Yes, it is. Good running between the wickets. This is what they need. Try to push as many as possible because that was where Bashers did a good job. When the going got tough for them, they were just rotating strike very quickly between the wickets. Well, that's brilliant bowling. Again, fast and full. Well, it hasn't been too fast, too furious, but at least it has been good enough for the bowler to keep the batsman off strike. Most of the times, not able to get under the ball is a difficulty for a batsman. Because he cannot get big hits away unless he does that. Good job. Very good fielding. Everyone's on their toes. Everyone's in the game. Everyone is doing their bit, and that's why this team is here. Everyone knows their roles, and they're doing it exceptionally well. No wonder that this team has come down to this stage. But on the other hand, don't count out Rovers. They've done a similar job in the past where they were down and out but brilliant batting after that has got them through as well. So they're still in the hunt. Short one and missed away. Really good delivery, but that should have been put away idly towards fine leg. There was no fielder in the deep, in the fine leg region. After the end of 7, 37 for 2. Rather 1, 37 for 1. After the end of 7 overs, going at about 5 runs per over. Coming back for the second over is Krishna. To Srinivas. Down the leg side, takes the jersey, I believe. Is given a good ball by the umpire. That's a dot ball to begin with. Down the ground, should only be a single again. Either Kamal or Sivakumar. Sivakumar cuts it off. It may look very, very simple, but let me remind you, it's not an easy job to bowl consistently on the same line. The third and the fourth stump line or the off stump line. Generally a difficult one to bowl. Brilliant bowling. Krishna appearing for a leg before wicket, but turned down by the umpire. As cool as the umpire can get, he just shuns that request. Full toss, and that's a wicket. My happy-go-lucky moment that for Krishna. That was a full toss. That should have gone 2 rows behind the stadium. But unfortunately, he does not even connect on that. Rashmi's very, very struggling knock in the middle comes to an end. Well, all of a sudden, looks like he was off track. Not the off-track performance, but more like off-track performance in the field. That should have been a full toss. That should have gone a long way. And with these wickets falling, I can't see the 13th man right now. Where is the 13th man for Rovers? No sight of him at all. Where is he? Oh, he's got his hat down. No wonder. Well, he's chilling with the shades on. Not a time for the Rovers to be chilling in the middle. They have to get those big hits out. The big levers must be used. Tyron Pollard type hits to go out of the park. That's what's required at this point, or the ABD style 360s. Well, that's stuck down towards fine leg. The captain chasing it himself. Should be easy too. Shoot, says the bowler. And the captain obliges. It's only just 2 runs to get off strike and to come back on. Singles and doubles. Every single delivery can count, but if it's only an odd double and a single, it's not going to help. Combined effort of singles and doubles with odd boundaries will get them through. Full toss, missed away. And this is what good bowling generally does. When the bowling line and length has been amazing, what happens is that even bad deliveries at primes can prove out to be good deliveries. On a general wicket and a context of the game, that full toss could have gone anywhere on the leg side. But rather the batsman chose to go towards the offside because that's the situation. And they're playing the situation out rather after the end of 8, 41 for 2. A tad above 5 runs per over is what they're scoring at. Nothing close to where they need. They need about 14 runs per over to get to victory from here on. 103, 42. 3 required, which is down to 102. 102 required in 41 deliveries. Well, if I can count it that way, one person has to play an ABD type innings because he scored a 30 odd ball 100 against West Indies, and that's required right now because they need 100 plus. Oh, that's a good one. $102 required in 40. Will we have that ABD type innings? That's down the ground. Good shot. Stood tall and then carted it away to long on. That's not great running at all. There was a misfield and they never even attempted that second. That's why it's always important to stay in the game. It was an easy second there due to the fumble. And every run counts. That's much better. But these singles will not cut it. Like I said, they will have to get one out boundary every single over. And one really good over where they get 15 to 20 runs. And that's the only way they will get down to the victory lines. Or they will stay on the shores. Good fielding from Yashasvi. Couple of juggles away. First, didn't know whether the ball was going to be stopped. Her legs saved the day. Next, she tried with her hands. She tried as much as she could. Still stopped that extra runs from flowing away. That's more important. Slower one. Well bowled by Sivakumar. Back of the hand, slower variation. That's great bowling. Well, all these variations are very important. And that's why Bashers seem to be on top at this point in time. That's because of good bowling. Very, very disciplined bowling. And this team will meet Vipers in the final. A place in the final at stake. And Bashers are doing it very, very well thus far. Second semi-final of NNE Premier League 2026 at Samprasiddhi Sports Stadio. Yes, begun in a grand fashion and is going at full speed with Bashers running away with victory. With Rovers trying to row their way back into the game. But will they get there is the question. And that one special innings, where is that in store? Is it with Srinivas? Is it with Pratik? Is it with anyone else? Time to answer. Tucked away. Sachin Yadav cuts it off. Very well bowled. They're keeping it very tight, are these bowlers. Vinod Kashyap, the man who was so close to his 50, is now doing the job with the ball. That's a good shot, but to the man at extra covers, rather covers, cuts it off. That's down the ground. Another single added to the board, but not much effect. That big hit's missing. Not working much for Rovers. They're chugging along the scoreboard. But not good enough. Good shot. And that is 4 runs. Will that be the break of the shackles that they were looking at? Will they break the shackles, or will Bashers continue that dominating effort against Rovers? Well, it's slowly and steadily slipping away from the grasp of Rovers. They need 17 runs per over from here on to victory. We know this is in a hurry to get wickets. Or trying to be a little cheeky out here, Srinivas. Of course, he has to be. He has to get those big hits and the runs that they were looking for. He's been there since the beginning of the effort. So he needs to be the aggressor. He was timing it pretty well in the initial phases, but after that, he's phased out a bit. Out at the end of 10, 53 for the loss of 2 wickets. They're very, very far away from victory at this point in time, needing 91 from 5 overs. They need to score at about 18 runs per over. 30 deliveries. 91 required. At about 18 runs with Krishna walking back to bowlers. Third, he's bowled a brilliant spell. 7 runs for the loss of 1 from his bowling. He's picked up 1 good wicket, of course, of the 2 that have gone. A very tricky customer, Krishna. Generally bowls that slower one as his variation. But the stock delivery for him is to bowl the fuller one. That's been the stock length that he's been bowling. And has paid him great dividends thus far. Down the leg side, should be another wide. Well, inching closer to victory. Our bashers, slowly but steadily. 18 runs per over from here on is an improbable task. Full toss, takes it on the legs, and that sums up what his day has been thus far for Srinivas. He's not been able to get going. Started off very well. Was driving it down the ground, caressing it all through the fences. Was able to see the ball well, but after that he's kind of lost his rhythm. And he's cleaned him up. That stay comes to an end with a slower delivery from Krishna. He's picked up his 2nd of the day and the 3rd for the team. Well, with that, we've lost the sight of the cup here, Rovers, have they? At least I have lost sight of the 13th man. I still can't find it. I think I will need a drone to find him out now. He was saying the chase was very easy and very simple to get across. And with that being said, bashers are doing it in style. The cool customers being Krishna, Kamal, as well as Vinod with the ball. Anyone who would like to watch this match live on YouTube, all you need to do is get onto YouTube, type Y Sports, and you can watch this live on YouTube. Go to Y Sports and NNE Premier League. That's a beautiful shot to begin with. What a shot that, right in between the fielders, a cut shot, slashed away through point. And that's a brilliant hit from Rahul, first up. Well, will he be the man that they will be looking forward to change the fortunes? Starts off with a boundary. That's a good shot, but not good enough to get them more runs. Just a single. That's towards mid-wicket. Probably a single. Yes, they do get a single. I think if only we had the rule of niners like the ISPL here, that is the only thing that will save Rovers right now. Because even sixes from here on, 2-3 6s every single over could be difficult. 61 for 3 after the end of 11. They need 20 runs per over from here on. Let me calculate it this way. 6s in an over. And 1 or 2 deliveries, they get a single or a double, let's say 22 or 20-21. Even with that, it could come too close. So the only thing that can save them is those 6s turning into niners. If you watched ISPL, you would know what I said. That's slashed away again. Full face of the bat. Well, they've had really good shots from their book. They've played it well. It's just that the full value of the shots have not come through because of the fielding setup, of course. But it needs to be placed in the gap as well. They're playing from full-blooded drives, which are not going in the gap. It's finding the fielders. Mohan up in the air. Fall short of the fielder. Kamal picks it up for a single. Well, it is mere formality from here on. That's how they're treating it, Bashers. In their own minds, they've already won it. But let me tell you, cricket is a funny game. Until the last ball is bowled, nothing is over. You never know. You can come up with 2 or 3 no balls in an over, 2 or 3 wides in an over. 1 over is, you never know. That was a huge drive attempted for sure, but missed out. Again, another booming drive stopped by the man. Chance of a run out, and that was more or less a self-inflicted run out. If he is run out, that is not great running between the wickets. There was never a second there in the first place, but if he's got through, he scampered through to that, then that is great running. Rovers will be hoping that he scampered through. At least if not the Rovers, the man sitting there with the cap on, the 13th man, he will be hoping that they get through. No sight of him. I've lost the sight of that man. I think I will need the drones to come into effect. Please find him wherever he is. All that excitement, energy is gone off. Kumar, the fielder, with a good throw. You've got an impact player walking in to create an impact. Already half impact done. He's going to finish off that impact that was created by Bashers. Manas walking back. With no sight on victory, I think it's becoming more and more difficult. In fact, it's now more or less a mere formality for Bashers to complete it. One more delivery of the over, and then we will complete the 12th. And they just scored 64, and they've lost 4 important wickets. Down the ground. That's the end of the 12th. 64 for 4 it remains. And they need to score 80 runs in 18 deliveries. 26 runs per over. Well, it is 4 sixes every over. You look at it that way, it's just 4 sixes. But getting those sixes is not an easy job. Getting 1 or 2 is difficult in the first place. Getting 4 in an over is close to impossible. Don't come back to me saying impossible as the word I am possible. I know it, but that's called impossible for a reason. But let's see if it does not. That's a good shot, of course. But again, only a single. Krishna coming back for another over. And Prashant gets off strike the very first delivery he's faced. Pratik on strike. He cuts it away to point. And the impact player creating the impact that we spoke about. The job was only half done. Now he's completed it. Great impact player selection by the Bashers captain. I'm sure he was also not really sure of the impact. But he's created it. That's great. With that, we go to the DJ. It's all Krishna at the moment. While Bashers are cheering Krishna, Krishna, on the other hand, Rovers have to be chanting Hare Krishna to get out of this mess. 31 every over. That's what's required. He's trying his best there, Prashant. Not getting that at all. Samir, the senior most cricketer in the team, walks and takes guard. Full toss almost. It's given a wide by the umpire. Krishna trying to be a little too cheeky, bowling a slower delivery and misses out. Again, a slower delivery, but more towards a leg cutter. Subtle changes in pace can do the difference, and that's what he's showing. Well, looks like it will be a Bashers versus Vipers final. Up in the air by Samir. He gets off strike and retains strike for the next over after the end of 13. 69 for 5. With that, we've got the impact player picking up the ball. He's not done with the impact in the field. He's about to create that with the ball now. That's a tossed up delivery to begin with. And it goes for a single. Samir gets off strike. Shreyas gets one run of the first delivery is bowled, and now Prashant on strike. He comes across, tries to bash it towards leg side, and he misses out. Oh, that's a swing and a miss. That was a dolly. Missed away by Prashant. Looks like the 13th man that has just woken up. He's sleeping for some time, I guess. The Bura Hal has been going on for some time. That was almost a 4. That was through the legs. Nothing's lost yet. Oh, that's an edge. Midun diving away to get that. That does not have the legs to go to the boundary. It stops right in front of it. Tossed up delivery. Again. Well, Samir is doing it very well for his team, but not good enough, of course. But he's at least rotating stride, keeping it moving for his team. He's holding one end up, 74 for 5. Half the side gone. And they need to score another 70 in 6 deliveries. Kumar is the new bowler. We've got a Carl Hooper style bowling. Oh, the impact player trying as much as possible to create more impact. Madad sakagalva sir. Innu na 70 run ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ. What an effort from this man. Shot one and put away. That was what missing for the last 6-7 overs. Well, it's too little, too late. In fact, too late for them. But nevertheless, we're able to see some good shots from the bat of Prashant. This should have been done at least 6-7 overs ago to stay in the hunt. But nevertheless, he is minimizing the damage for his team. That's a good shot. Should run away for at least 2 runs. In fact, it is 4 runs. What a shot that. Another beautiful shot shimming down the ground and smacking that away for 4 runs towards Cows. Slow one and he's cleaned him up. He's trying to force things there. And Kumar gets the last laugh. Well, it's going only one way. That is Basher's way. Bashers have completed their bashing of Rovers, and that will put them in the final. Bashers versus Vipers final, but before that, we've got a third place trophy. Third place trophy to be decided. For that, it will be Rovers competing in that. So the contest will be between Blasters and Rovers for the third place, whilst Vipers and Bashers will be completing the final lineup. Well bowled, well bowled. Well, of course, it doesn't make a lot of difference, but he's bowling it well. Another bowling option for Bashers in the final, maybe. You never know. This will be between Bashers and Vipers, whereas the third place will be between Rovers and Blasters. We will begin the third place contest between Rovers and Blasters in about an hour's time. To be precise, our match referee has informed me it will be 3:30. That's less than 1 hour, by the way. That's less than 1 hour. Okay. So it's going to be a 10-over affair, is what I'm being informed. That will be for the third place team. Before you jump the guns, it is the third place contest, and that will be a 10-over affair, and we'll begin at about 3:30. 55 minutes away from now. So until then, catch a breather, have your breaks, and circling back in some time and signing off for now is Sukrut.